Hello, I'm Bill Potter, and you're watching the 18 WJTS News. In tonight's stories, an Evansville man was shot and killed after breaking into a residential home. St. Joseph's Church will see some upcoming restoration being done on its historic stained glass windows. And the Jasper Strassenfest Committee is currently accepting applications for the Little Miss and Mr. pageants. Turning first to our first story tonight out of Evansville, police responded to a home burglary that resulted in the death of a home invader over the weekend. Evansville police were called out around 4 a.m. Sunday morning to the report of shots fired. Upon arriving into the area, officials found 25-year-old Malcolm Tyler Payton, who was found in a nearby yard and appeared to have been shot. Officers began to render first aid to Payton. While administering first aid, the police found a gun on the ground under Payton. He was then taken to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. During an investigation, police spoke to the homeowner of 1120 Adams in Evansville, who told investigators that Payton was breaking into his home when the shooting happened, and that Payton was wearing a mask and was armed with a gun as he crawled in through a bedroom window. Police are reporting that based on the information and physical evidence the investigators have available to them at this time, the actions of the homeowner appear to be within the law. The investigation is ongoing. In Jasper, St. Joseph's Church has announced that it is in store for some much-needed renovations on their beautiful and historic stained glass windows. As stained glass windows are not the focus they once used to be, the church has found a contractor who has completed numerous projects involving a very unique and specific set of skills, with Conrad Schmidt Studio in New Berlin, Wisconsin. This will not be Conrad Schmidt's first project in the area, as they previously completed restoration work at the Ferdinand Monastery and the St. Mindred Monastery. The St. Joseph Parish has been engaged in assessing the historic church's needs for the past 3 years in respect to the condition of the windows and other aging surfaces, leading it to make the stained glass windows a top priority. The windows in St. Joseph's Church have been the focal point of some much coveted history of the Jasper area, and with the windows approaching 120 years of service, they are well past their life expectancy of 100 years. Tomorrow, Tuesday, May 23rd, contractors will be at the church to select and remove one half of a narrow lancet window along the nave of the church. Restoration will be performed on this one removed window, establishing a base for a timeline for the following removal and restoration of an extended project. Funding for this project is largely from the Stewards of God's Grace Capital Campaign, which was orchestrated in cooperation with the Diocese of Evansville. A waterline replacement will be slowing traffic tomorrow as Jasper Street Department is set to close a road for the project. Jasper Street Department officials would like to remind residents that 13th Street will be closed between the intersection of Bartley Street heading east for 400 feet, ending at Mott Street tomorrow, beginning at 8 a.m. and lasting until 4 p.m. Knies Construction will be doing work on replacing a water line in that area. That time of year is almost upon us, with Strassenfest just around the corner. With this, the Jasper Strassenfest Committee is currently accepting applications for the fun contest of the 2017 Little Miss and Mr. pageant. The Little Miss and Mr. is held in conjunction with the Miss and Junior Miss Strassenfest pageant during the 4-day German Heritage Celebration. This year's pageants will be held at the Redemption Christian Church on Saturday, July 29th at 7 p.m. For those who are interested in entering one of the pageants, pick up an application form along with other information, including eligibility requirements, found at jasperstrassenfest.org. Completed application forms should be returned via email by 2 p.m. June 6th. Holiday World and Splash and Safari was at it again this past weekend, doing their part as a good financial and charitable stewards of the community as they hosted the park's 12th annual Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation One Walk this past Sunday. The park helped raise more than $350,000 for the Research Foundation by donating tickets to JDRF for the event. Those tickets were earned by individuals, families, and teams who raised donations for the walk. Holiday World has helped raise over $3.5 million for Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation since the park's late president, Will Cook, who was diabetic, started the event in 2006. Cook's widow, Lori, and daughter Lauren were on hand Sunday morning to thank the 1,300 walkers. They are nearly 200 One Walk fundraisers nationally each year, with proceeds going to research to turn type 1 into type none. WJTS News will continue in a moment with Monday with the Manager, featuring Ferdinand Town Manager Chris James. Later in this newscast, the new director of the Jasper Arts Department, Kyle Rupert, will join me in the studio with WJTS Informed.